Good morning to all. Myself Shreya Sinha. I study in class 6 and I am so happy to see you again. So, I want to tell you one important thing at the first of this video. From today onward, we will start learning in a series. That means at the first day we will do the math and at the second day we will do the science. So, like this we will do the subject wise. And then in each subject we will go through the chapter wise also. So today's class is on maths and chapter 1. Our chapter 1 is going to be Roman numerals. So let's start. Firstly, as you know that what are Roman numerals? So Roman numerals are the numerals which has been used or had been used by the ancient Romans. And from today, you know that today we use 1, 2, 3 for that. So firstly, as you know that in our system that we use today, there are some base numbers. Which are they? Who are they? They are 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So these are the base numbers. But similarly like this, in the Roman numerals, there are also the base number. There are 7 base number. What are they? They are for the 1, 5. The Roman numerals, the base Roman numerals are for the 1, then 5, then 10, then 50, then 100, then 500, then 1000. So they are for these numbers. And what are they? Who are they? They are, first we use I for representing 1, then V for representing 5, then X for 10, L for 50, C for 100, D for 500, and at last we use M for 1000. So what are they? They are base number. What are they? They are base numbers. So you have to learn this for making the Roman numerals, and I can surely say that you will find the interest in this Roman numerals. So let's start. So firstly, as you can see here, we have these only, and we have now the 2, 3, 4 number. So what we do, we form the number by using the two concepts in the Roman numerals. What are they? They are additive concept and subtractive concept. What are they? Subtractive concept and the additive concept. So we use these two concepts to form the numbers in the Roman numerals. So I think you have a question. What is that? I think that you have a question. Why did the world don't continue using with Roman numerals? Why does we had invented this system 1, 2, 3, 4? Why does we invented this? Why can't we continue with the Roman numerals only? That's because you can see here the Roman numerals is still 1000 only. There is no Roman numeral for the 5000 and then so on and on. So because of that, in the ancient time, the people don't want to count the higher number. Now as the civilization grows, we need to count the higher numbers also. So that's why we had stopped using this Roman numerals. Think that if I want to write the 30,000 or the 50,000, what I will do? I will write this M for 50 times or 30 times. It will take so much space. So that's why we had stopped using this Roman numerals. So let's study what is additive concept and what is subtractive concept. So let's start with the additive concept. So firstly, in the additive concept, you know the word is coming add. That means plus. So what we do, you know that for the 2, if I want to write the 2, 2 can be represented as 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. You know that. Then in the Roman numerals, we also do this. 1 is represented as I. So that it means like this. I plus I, that means 1 plus 1. What does it give us? 2. How can I write this? I can write this as this. I plus I, which means 2, which represents 2. So like this, we also form the 3, 4 and like for 3, so take the example of the 3. So if I want to write 3, 3 can be represented as 1 plus 1 plus 1, which gives us 3. And in the Roman numerals, I plus I gives us 3. Or how can we write it in the Roman numerals? In the Roman numerals, like this. So this is the 3. For 4, I will tell you in the subtractive concept for 4 and 9. But first let's understand this additive concept, because 4 and 9 is a part of the subtractive concept. So let's study about the 6. So how can we represent the 6 in the additive concept? So you know that here is a 5 and the 5 plus 1 gives us 6. Gives us 6. So like this, in the Roman numerals, 5 is represented as V and the 1 is represented as the I. So V plus I is 6. That means in the Roman numerals it will be like this. Here what we have? 6. For 7, what we put here? Plus I plus I. That means like this is the 7, and then for 8, what does we do? You know that we write 8 as 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. It gives us 8. So like this, in the Roman numeral, 5 is represented as the V, you know that. Then plus I, that represent the 1, and then I, and then I, what does it gives us? VII, that is 8. So like this, I had told you that 9 and 4 I will tell you in the subtractive concept. So that was the 1, 2, 3, then 5, 6, 7, 8. You know that for the Roman numeral of the 5, what we use? V simply. We have to write the V alone. And I want to tell you that for the 0, if I want to write the 0 alone in the Roman numerals, what the ancient Romans do, that they put this, a circle, as we use this for 0, for representing the 0. But I'm telling you that if I want to write the 0 alone, not for 10, for writing the 10 in Roman numeral, I don't write it as I and 0. I don't do this. What is the Roman representation of 10 is X. For 50, L. Then 100, there is no, if I want to write the 0 with some number, so I don't use the 0 like this. Then it will be wrong. It will be wrong. For writing the 0 alone in the Roman numerals, I can use this. But if I want to write the 0 with another number also, I can't use that. So let's study about the subtractive concept also. So in the subtractive concept, you know that we are using subtract, which means minus. So for using, I tell you that for 4 and 9 we use the subtractive concept, and it is so rarely used for 4 and 9 only. And if the number carries 4 or 9, so we use subtractive concept at that number also. Take that, I have here 4 and I have to write this 4. in the Roman numerals. So how can I represent this 4 in the normal number with the minus? 5 minus 1, of course. That means 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 gives me 4. Simple. It is so simple. So like this in the Roman numerals, what we do is for 5 we use a V, and for 1 we use the I. So if I will write this as this, so it will be wrong. Why it is wrong? Because for 6 we had also used VI. It represents 6. It can't represent the 4. So what we have done is that if the, here I am writing for you, if the smaller value, smaller number in the Roman numerals, some smaller value is written before, or you can use the left of the larger value of the larger value. So you can understand that we are using subtractive concept. What we are using? Subtractive concept. So I am telling you that if the smaller value is written before or the left side of the larger value, it means we are subtracting that. So for 4 what we will do? The larger value is here 5, which is V, and the smaller value is the I or the 1. So at what side should I write this one? Of course at the left side. Here. So what does it represent now? It represents 4. That's correct. Now you can see that here what is, now forget about this. Take that I had given you this Roman numeral and I had asked you, tell me the number. So how you will tell that? First you need to identify which concept I am using, adaptive or subtractive. So here you can see that the smaller value is at the left side of the larger value. That means we are subtractive. Now once you identify that we are using the subtractive concept, so here you can see that here is V that represent the 5, and we are minusing this 1 or the I. Here is written I and I represent 1. So 5 minus 1 gives us 4. That means we are representing here 4. So like this, the subtractive concept is used. Now if I ask you for writing this 9, so how you will write that in the subtractive concept? So in the subtractive concept, you can see that here, how to write 9, here you can see that here is 10. So 10 minus 1 gives us 9. It's simple. And now in the Roman numerals, 10 is represented as X. Then 1 is represented as I. So it gives me, now I should ask a question. Here I have the X, the larger value. Here is the larger value. Now I am asking that at what side of the X or at what side of the larger value I should put the smaller value, so that you can understand that this is the in this case we are using the subtractive concept. I should put this I at the left side of the larger value, or the smaller value. If I will put the smaller value at the left side of the larger value, it means we are using the subtractive concept. So like this we form 4 and 9, and the number which carries 4 and 9 is, if we want to write this 4 and 9, so we use like this, the subtractive concept. Now let's form the numbers. I think that you are understood with the subtractive and the additive concept. So let's start with the forming numbers. So first we will form the basic numbers till 1 to 10. That means here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then 9 and then 10. So let's form these numbers. For 1, here's I, it's simple. Then for 2, I, we had learned it in the additive concept. Then for 3, 1 plus 1 plus 1 gives us 3. That means I. For 3. Then for 4, we use the subtractive concept. And how can we use that? 5 minus 1 gives us 4. And like this, if I have to put the smaller value at the left side of the larger value, so that it represents the subtractive, that the subtractive concept is using here. So I will write this for like this. 4. The smaller value is at the left side of the larger value. Then for 5 we have the Roman numeral here, V. And then for 6, what we have? We have to use the additive concept. That means the smaller value should be at the right of the greater value or the larger value also. Then for 7, we also use this additive concept, which is VII. Then for 8, VIII. Then for 9, we use the subtractive concept. And how can I represent this 9? 10 minus 1. That means x minus I, or it can be also represented as this. The smaller value is at the left side of the larger value. That means we are using the subtractive concept. And what we are subtracting here? 10 or x minus I. That means 10 minus 1, which gives us 9. Then for 10 we have the Roman numeral here, x. For 20, how will we write it as? So we will use the additive concept because there is no 4 and 9. So how can I represent this 20? I can represent this 20 as 10 plus 10 or x plus x. And it will look something like this. It is 20. Then for 30, it is also so simple, x, x, x. And for 40, here we have 4, that means we have to use the subtractive concept. How can I represent this 40 in the simple? I can represent this as 50 minus 10. It can be also represented as 50 minus 10. Or we can write it as L minus x. Then I have to write I have to put the smaller value at the left side of the larger value. That means I have to put the L here and the x here. So what it will look like the XL. And in math it does not mean the extra large, it means 40. So let's move on to the 50. You know that 50 is written as L. And then here I have 60. So how can I write the 60? Firstly, what we have to use? Additive concept or the subtractive concept? Additive concept, of course. Because here is no 4 and 9, so we will use the additive concept. And 60 can be represented as 50 plus 10. In the Roman numerals, L plus X or LX. It is so simple. Then for 70, we have LXX. For 80, it is simple. For 80, we have LXXX. And for 90, now here, notice here, that here is a 9. What is here? 9. And 4 and 9 is a part of the subtractive concept. So, here we will use the subtractive concept. That means we have to put the smaller value at the left side of the larger value. That means 100 is represented as C minus, I have to minus 10 here. So that will give us 90. So I have to minus 10. So I will write it as this. XC, that means 100 minus 10 gives us 90. So like this for 100, you know that. For 100 I will use this C, and it is so simple. So let's start with forming the larger numbers also. So if I want to form the 549, let me write it down for you. 549. I have to form this I have to form the Roman numeral for the 549. So how can I write this, and how can I write this in the expanded form? I can write it as 500 plus 40 plus 9. It can be written as 500 plus 40 plus 9. Then 500 is represented in the Roman numerals as D. Then 40 is represented as XL. We have to use the subtractive concept, and for the subtractive we have to put the smaller value at the left side of the larger value, and that means I can write this 40 as the XL because L means 50 minus X means 10. 50 minus 10 gives us 40. So it is XL. I told you that it don't mean the extra large. It means in the math it means 40 only. Then for 9 we will also use the subtractive concept, and we had learned that we have to use the IX so that it will represent the 9, because 10 minus I, because the I is the smaller values at the left side of the larger value, that means we are using the subtractive concept, and now it represents the 9 here, because 10 minus 1 gives us 9. It's so simple. So it is like this. Now what we had formed? We had formed 549 in the Roman numerals. So I think that you should solve more questions on this Roman numerals, and I can surely say that you will find so many interest in that. And if you found any improvement, so you can comment it in the comment box. And for now, thank you for watching this video, and have a cheerful day ahead. Thank you.